Hello Gemini, it's Marina from the Butterfly Effect, and this is your reading for the lunar eclipse, 5th of July. As I've said in my previous videos, this lunar eclipse harks back to the summer of 2018, and what may be culminating here will relate to that period. So it's quite an extended period, and it will drift out probably another 6 months. So a big old cycle is wrapping up. This whole Cancer Capricorn axis hideousness is wrapping up. I say hideousness because, you know, it depends on where Cancer and Capricorn is in your chart, but Cancer is in the 6th house, and the 6th house represents basically illness. It's a malefic, as is the 12th. Everything is hidden and karmic, the house of self-undoing, internment. Yeah, it's not good. Okay, so we're getting there, we're nearly there. This might be a doozy, but it will drift out. So this is Gemini's reading. So I've done all the cardinal signs who will affect more so than anyone else, starting with obviously Cancer and Capricorn, and now I'm doing the mutables. I think this is the last of the mutables, and then I will do the fixed signs. And it obviously depends on your own personal chart, but it may not affect you quite as badly. Gosh, you know, I really don't think I can give this reading justice. That's really why I've been putting it off. I laid it out and it was so intense. It actually had me like reeling back in my chair here, like, whoa. The intensity of this upper row, which is all masculine energy, is more or less matched with the defiance of the bottom row. Okay, so I'm reading this obviously as a relationship reading. I mean, when I get to the end of it, I might look at it differently. So if you're not actually dealing with anyone, or this doesn't relate to you, it's more as because obviously we've got the whole Gemini Sagittarius node shift now. We're there now, so you know there will be something in here for most people, to be perfectly honest. The first time ever I've seen a card become animated and I nearly shit a brick. And that's and in line with the top row, like the eye contact, the staring, the oh god, I can't even, this is it, I don't have, here's a vocabulary. It's a word I've never been able to say. There's too many R's. There's only one R in it. I can't say it. I don't know. I'm Scottish. It doesn't work for me. And I can only ever thank Hugh Grant in 4 Weddings and a Funeral when he abbreviated it to vocab, and I actually nearly dropped to my knees in relief. I had an excuse not to try and attempt the whole word. Yeah, and the English are always abbreviating stuff. What is that about? Anywho, so yeah, I honestly wish that these cards were in front of a more proficient reader who had who was just better than me at it, because honestly it's so intense, but I'll do my best because that's all I got. So I'm going to start with the first energy. I have taken 2 different energies here. You might be able to position yourself before I get into the actual story. Oh gosh, I didn't tell you about the animation. Okay, it's the High Priestess in reverse here. She literally moved. Shit, you not. I mean, you can see her here, right? And she's got this beautiful silver skirt, right? And she's got the fawn right above her, who is literally got her scent, is how I would put it. And I kid you not, she actually flashed her knickers. She parted her skirts. It was hilarious. I was like, what did you do? Oh my gosh. Now, I couldn't really decide at that point. There's obviously intense attraction here. There's no 2 ways about it. There's like a magnetic attraction, which is why I've come up with the title Hancock and Mary, which is what came to me. But actually I didn't do the reading right away because I was like, what this? I mean, I don't do twin flame readings. I really don't, because I'll be honest, 90% of them are just trauma bonding and the whole narcissist empath dynamic, and I don't buy into it. I'm well aware that it is massive in the tarot community, not always in a good way, but I am seeing this. You know, I've got the moon here, I've got Hecate, who's represented by the twin flames, the two, you know, you see her here. She's literally got the two flames, and on the other side I've got Jason here with his little twin flame here. So yeah, there's a mirroring of energy, but one is very fixed and intent on purpose, and the other is very defined and who is not trusting this at all. Yeah, so the freaking high priestess with her whole, and thing is it's the whole Sharon Stone in Fatal Attraction, is it not? Is that Fatal Attraction? Is that the right movie? Hang on a minute. Is Fatal Attraction not the one with Glenn Close and Michael what's his chops? What is the one with Sharon Stone who's like the ice pick colour? You'll know. Okay. It almost feels too intense is what I'm going to say. So yeah, it could straight up be twin flame, but it also feels incredibly karmic, yeah? And this whole bottom row, which is very feminine, is literally all about a female who is single on purpose. That is who Hecate is. That is who Themis is. And that is who Persephone is. Yeah? But now we've got a tower. Oofty, it's the biggie. Let's go. So the first energy up is the dog spirit upright, the owl spirit in reverse, with the tower in reverse. So this represents someone who is obviously very loyal with the dog spirit, but with and the first song I got through was I Can See Clearly Now the Rain Has Gone, and the owl spirit literally landed in reverse, taking the piss. So I mean, and I've got the high priestess in reverse. So there's someone here who is not either awakened to this connection or is quite happily denying it. They don't trust it, is what I'm saying, with the owl spirit in reverse. And yet there is a loyalty here. And the question is, why am I loyal to this partnership when it is so disappointing? Because the Nine of Cups is in reverse. So this is someone with a really loving, a true heart. But with this, and this has almost been like a sensory overload. This has been overwhelmed by the situation, and with the tower it's trying to avert or avoid a disaster that they may have actually seen. So they have retreated at this point. This energy is clear that they're clear that this is not their wish fulfillment, so they have pulled back. And the tower in reverse is when you literally avert disaster, but you're also calling into question your fundamental belief system, maybe in general, but definitely with regards to this relationship. You know, why have you experienced it? Why have you met this person? I think for some people, they may not even have, this may not have happened yet. It's not like this is like, you know, someone coming back around again. It could be for some of you. I do have the Six of Swords in reverse. But for some of you, this will be brand new. This may not have happened. And with Luathis is love at first sight. It's also lust at first sight, to be fair. Yeah, and I must admit, even though I've just taken 4 cards, and to be honest that was enough, a lot of the readings I've done for July, I was pulling out the 4 cards and trying to split it into the 4 weeks, and this 4th week in July is starting to set some sort of pattern where everything really is kicking off. Now when I see that in individual, you know, general readings, it can often indicate something on a grander scale. Okay, I've drifted again. So there could be a feeling here of resisting this relationship because it doesn't quite constitute this person's wishes. There's something, this partnership, the Two of Cups with the Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, there's a feeling here with the Nine of Cups being in reverse, and I do have the Eight of Cups for the other party, okay? So the Eight of Cups is when Psyche intentionally enters the underworld. Yeah, she willingly goes to Hades' realm. Now she's a mortal, and being a mortal to enter Hades' realm is basically accepting, not just letting go, but a death. Yeah, there's nothing more can be done in this situation. It is complete relinquishment. It is complete acceptance. You go empty handed into the unknown. You do not expect to be saved, claimed, redeemed, or rescued. And I think that's what's happened here. So there's not, that's not, this person that I'm reading for here does not expect to be just that. They don't expect their person to have their back, to save them, to claim them. And they may have had, with the Owl Spirit in reverse, it can obviously mean that they're not as awakened. They haven't seen the future to the same extent as this is the Divine Masculine in the top row. It can mean that. But it can also mean that what they have seen of the future, and I am dealing with Hecate here. I mean, Hecate sees the past, the present, and the future all at the same time. She's come up twice. She's the three-headed moon goddess with her, you know, with Cerberus here, our three-headed dogs. It's almost like Hecate has seen a future that may be not what this sage and the Divine Masculine has seen. That's one possibility. But with the Nine of Cups in reverse here, even in its upright position, when it's the upright, this is the coming together. This is the proper marriage. The Three of Cups is their first marriage when Psyche is still a mortal, and then Aphrodite deems her, you know, not good enough for her boy and sends her on multitude of trials. And the last trial is the Eight of Cups, which has come up on the other person's energy. And this is the giving up. So this is like the resurrection, but it is also where she is acknowledged and accepted into the realm, the family. And, you know, the Ten of Cups is when she gets her angel wings to be as angelic as Eros is here. So with it being in reverse, there's betrayal here. But they have in many ways betrayed one another, because Psyche didn't have sufficient trust in Eros, who wouldn't show himself in daylight because he's a god and she's a mortal. And then her sisters got into her head and she got all very paranoid, so she held the light up to him when he was asleep. And he didn't forgive her for that, and he abandoned her. So that was her betrayal of him, was not trusting him, even though he gave her plenty of reasons not to. And his betrayal of her is that he lets her go to the Eight of Cups, to the underworld, and he doesn't stand up to his own mother to defend her. But when we get to the Nine of Cups in its upright position, this is commitment on another level. This is a commitment to, it includes your shadow side. It's not like the rose-tinted spectacled Three of Cups where you're in love, oblivious and have no impulse control at that stage. The Nine of Cups is when you have included the fact that you have betrayed one another, that there has been separation, despair, resentment, grudges, and even a willingness, preparedness to give it up. So it's almost like grown-up love. It's like other level love. But to have it in reverse, with the Tower in reverse and the Owl Spirit in reverse, this is like having a bit of an existential crisis here. And you're questioning everything. They are, you are, your purpose, the reason they came into your life, why you had to experience this. So there's a resistance here. But as I say, this can also be that this energy has been forewarned that something big was coming, and probably bad, and has attempted to minimize the destruction in their life somewhat. Okay, so this other energy here is the bat spirit. You can see difference in colours instantly. The bat spirit upright and the snake spirit upright. The Eight of Cups I've already covered. So even though someone has walked away here and it has been, you know, willingly, there's always been a feeling that this would come back around with a rebirth being assured. But at this point in the process, something has most certainly run its course. It's died, it's been released. There's not a promise of rebirth here at this point, and yet someone does feel that even through the process that it would always come back around. And with the bat, he's in the dark, you know, he's in the cave, he's in unknown territory. This is a feeling of being lost. It's having to rely purely on your intuition because he has no sight. And sort of just trying to feel your way through the process, but most certainly having to heal. So this is having trust that what has died is actually shape-shifting into something more wholesome, into something more meaningful, and something more wondrous, even though you're stuck in the dark and it's hella unpleasant. And the snake here is shedding the past, he's shedding his skin, and he wants to repair damage with the Six of Pentacles. Now, this can be like bodily repair, like physical repair, so, you know, not just mental healing, physical healing, but it can be healing in all different levels with the Six of Pentacles. This is restoration, but it's normally through the generosity of others. So there may have been external influences here that have helped this party. This is Daedalus in my Mythic Tarot. Now, Daedalus is, he's an interesting character. He's not a wholly bad man. He's done a lot of bad things, basically, and he has committed great crimes. But at this point in the story, he has suffered for his crimes through poverty, through exile, through humiliation. And this is him being restored. So this is like a new cycle beginning for him. It normally indicates that money or substance is available to be shared, but it can also suggest faith being regained in a situation. So this 555 with the numbers here, massive change for this individual or energy. Yeah, massive and painful. But at the base of the deck, I do have the Star in reverse rotating the Self. And so this is sort of, this is a lack of faith. This is a loss of faith. This is not healing from a situation. Because it's at the base of the deck and with everything else that I've seen, I do sort of feel that this is just getting a different perspective on what you had a vision of what this might look like. And maybe just a case of coming back around to it and realizing that there is some substance here that is still worth exploring. But it is seeing something really differently. It is a complete 180. So maybe it's a case of what was lost, maybe regained. I do have the fairy godmother here with her helpful lessons. A helpful lesson might be the Glanconer. He's my narcissist, my fake as. Okay, so let's get into the cards because you just got to see this. Seriously. Right, we've got the Sage. Now, the main thing about all these cards is the eyes. The eye-to-eye contact between these two is breathtaking. And that's why I wonder if maybe they have not seen each other for a long time. And when they get together, they are, you know, so very different. Or they just see each other with very different eyes, but they're eye contact is so intense, it's literally breathtaking to the point that it's the sort of energy you might not even be able to maintain eye contact with. So I'm going to show you all of him. So he's got the sage. Now he's obviously got one like obliterated eye here. So he's a shaman. This represents wisdom, hidden knowledge, old age, patience. He cultivates detachment in the pursuit of his studies. He's usually retired. He can be very compassionate and merciful. And this is where I was blind, now I can see, but then the owl spirit landed in reverse. But the sage can also be an eye for an eye. Yeah, and even though, and I don't know if I've said this yet. Have I said this yet? I don't know. I knew I would get fumbled on it. When I laid it, and as I say, it was intense, and then the high priestess did her, you know, whatever she did. Do you know that the movie The Devil's Advocate, when the picture comes alive and, you know, what looks like angelic beings turn into, like, you know, devilish, you know, forms, like fornicating and whatnot? It was a wee bit like that. I mean, I'm not saying that's what she did, but that was like the feeling of it. It was just so weird. I can't even tell you. I've lost it again. Where was I? The song. OMG. Don't Pay the Ferryman. So as I say, I laid it. It was intense. I left it overnight. It was playing on my mind through the day, going about my daily duties, whatever. And I said, oh, Spirit, you've got to give me a song for this. I haven't got a clue how to pull this together, you know, because in one hand it looks intense and it may actually be magical, and it may end up with like the biggest awakening ever. This is like two atoms coming together and fusing, and it's like, it's going to be like the best orgasm ever. Or it actually might mean that they will destroy one another. So you need to give me a song so I can, like, because I'm not getting anything. And I got Don't Pay the Ferryman. And here's the Six of Swords in reverse at the base of the deck with the Five of Wands. Now, I don't know if this is like a little bit of a side story to the main story, but it is important. And I sort of got the feeling that at least one of the parties was maybe trying to extricate themselves. I don't know. Or it's alerting one of the parties to whatever this scenario represents. But if you know the Christopher song, and it will be below, please do have a listen. I think I wrote some of the lyrics down. Hang on. I know I wrote some of the lyrics down. This is the Six of Swords. Now, the Six of Swords in tarot, I know it looks all very peaceful, but actually in relation to Greek mythology, ow, this represents Charon or Charon. Hang on, I think I wrote the lyrics down, I threw it away. Oh, yeah, I did. Hang on. Not written down. Marina and her notes. I know I wrote something down on Charon. Can't remember. Anyway, Charon, or C-H-A-R-O-N, sometimes with a K, he is he's the ferryman. He is who takes you across the river Styx to the underworld, and you have to pay him. And that's what this Christopher song is about. Don't pay the ferryman. Don't even fix the price. And when the rain came down, he heard a wild dog howl. This is Hecate. Hecate has got the dogs, yeah? Voices in the night, don't do it. Too many men have failed before. So don't pay the ferryman until he gets you to the other side. You must pay me now, he says. Don't do it. Now, that might mean something for someone. It's not necessarily tying into my story, but to me it's a warning. Okay? And with the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, somebody may want some money some sort of investment. And you know, the thing about the Six of Swords, obviously it is a transition. It's moving away from hostilities and battles to a place of peace, really. It doesn't happen overnight, and there is a price to be paid, and there is in this reading a massive question mark over whether the price to be paid is commensurate with the return. Okay, so let's have a look. So we've got Sage, and now we've got himself. So this is the Divine Masculine. I mean, look how lit up these are. This person is just so connected. It's incredible. It's not just the ability of, you know, of foresight, which is what the Sage is all about, and it's someone who is very wise. The himself card is a double shamanic power. This is powerful spiritual healing. This is justice and protection. It's passion. It's potent creativity, and it's also erotic energy. This is like locked on. This is a heat-seeking missile. This energy knows exactly what they want and where they're going with the Fawn and Luath is the Wild. The Fawn is like the natural partner, but this is natural magic. This again is wisdom, but this is a little bit more light-hearted than the Sage and himself, which are so intense you need to kind of reel back and go, fuck. Ease up on the intensity, you know. We might actually do some damage here just by looking in one another's eyes, okay? So the Fawn makes it a little bit more light-hearted, and Luath is even more so. But Luathis is uncontrollable. Luathis has an issue with impulse control. He is all about everything new. He's like Tigger. So it's almost like, yeah, it's really, really intense. And then like maybe like the way into the High Priestess, who is very, very, you know, determined to be single forever, is to be really playful. This is like laughing someone into bed almost. It's really merry and, you know, really hot and fun. But Luathis, I mean, look at the eyes again. No, he's trouble. And he comes in with the Tower, yeah. This is almost like somebody gets a wee bit ahead of themselves here. And I've got the Chariot in reverse here. And when I woke up this morning, I saw the Chariot in reverse, and the song that I put up on my community page was, "You're moving too fast. You're not giving my love tonight." That is connected to this reading, okay? So as I say, heat-seeking myself, completely locked on. But literally, I do feel they are one another's kryptonite. And that's where the Hancock and Mary story comes in. Because the more time they spend together, the closer they get together, the more they actually weaken one another. Yeah? They are angelic beings. But they've chosen to, you know, enter this realm and live mortal lives and have normal lives. But when Hancock gets amnesia, she leaves him. Because they destroy one another. They can't not be together. They're like, you know, physically drawn. It's quantum entanglement. They always find one another in every lifetime. It's like 3,000 years of being together. But she makes the decision that she wants a regular life. She wants Ray. She wants, you know, lovely Ray and a kid. And to be, you know, go to the PTA and bake cakes. That's what she chooses. To have a mortal life. I think by the time she meets Ray, she's probably like 2,000 years old. And then Hancock turns back up. And he knows instantly that there's something there. And she tells him that she's his sister. And he doesn't believe her. He knows there's something more to it than that. But it is for good reason, because they do actually become weaker in one another's company. Whereas they could have probably got through like 1,000 years and been okay. They now can't get past like, 40 minutes before they're weakened. And then when there's like a massive, superhero drama, they're not ready to fight it. Here she is. So let's look. Hecate and Themis. So Hecate is basically the moon goddess, ultimately. She's the crone. She has psychic power. She is the beautiful virgin. She sacrifices marriage for her independent nature, for a higher purpose, basically. And she's also down here as the three-headed Hecate. She's known as the distant one. So she sees through what others would keep hidden. She has incredible wisdom. She is a protector, mainly of single women traveling alone. She protects the crossroads between this world to the other world. And she's very, very strong in the nighttime, less so in the daytime. Where am I going with that? Justice. The law of karma. She treats everyone with integrity, Themis. Again, she's very balanced, she's very fair, she's very intellectual, and she is completely connected to the High Priestess card. And when the High Priestess, Persephone, was, side note, was taken by Hades to the underworld, and Demeter, the empress, nobody could find Persephone. But it was Hecate who could hear her, because she's clairaudient as well as, clear-sighted and clear-sentient. She's just like, she's all the clairs, yeah? And she is actually the one who finds Persephone, ultimately, would say save her. She doesn't really save her though, because at this point, Persephone's already bitten the pomegranate. Persephone, by having bitten the pomegranate, is now destined to live with Hades in the underworld for 3 months out of the 12 months of the year. So that's our winter here. But, she wasn't forced into do it. She was most certainly forced and taken. But when she was there, she did develop an affection for Hades. And she took the pomegranate in full knowingness of what it meant. So I just sort of I don't know where I'm going with this. And the High Priestess with her flashing knickers, and here's the fawn who's literally on her scent. I see fawn and deer all the time. They are, oh my gosh, they're so intense. Like when they stop and stare at you, say a deer in headlights, like, you can literally see and feel their aura. They're so like, a blade of grass will move and they will know it. This, as I say, heat-seeking missile. But the High Priestess here either does not trust this, has seen the future and doesn't want it. And she's been clarified by the Hierophant, the Ten of Wands in reverse, and the Moon again. And this is, I think, she's got real serious doubts about this commitment, this soul contract, this connection, because I think it depletes her with the Ten of Wands in reverse. The Ten of Wands in reverse you would normally see as dropping it, and she may very well be like dropping out the picture. My initial thoughts on this is that this is all block. This is all coming in. I know exactly what this is, and this is, you do not know what this is. You are my kryptonite and will destroy me. No, I won't. I will. And here we get another tower. Because he's coming in fast. The Eight of Wands is a fast movement. It's clear movement. Loathi says go for it. It's the green light. It's like, this is a whole new behaviour. A whole new life. This is just... this is somebody who just knows exactly what they want, and they're going for it, and they're going really, really fast in that direction. And now we've got the Tower. Now this could be a really good tower, like orgasmic tower, enlightenment, because I do have it with Judgment, but I do have the Chariot in reverse here. Now the Judgment upright, as I say, I mean, it can be, you know, just straight up awakenings. This is like, you know, be ready for Judgment Day. It's coming. It's not avoidable. However you're trying to block it, it is coming. There's a life-changing decision that needs to be made here. It could resurrect something from the past, but it will absolutely change someone's life path. And with the Chariot in reverse, this can be like back up, slow down, but it can also be aggression and force. It can also be, are you letting obstacles get in your way? I cannot say that without getting into like a more detailed reading on that, but what I will say is, whatever goes down here, a decision has been made. It is coming, whether you want it or not, and you are going to make that eye-to-eye contact. So yeah, I'm going to take some advice. I know I didn't do that justice. It's so annoying because see what plays out in my head is so fabulous and intense, but when it comes out my mouth, just doesn't come out the same. Something else. Yeah, I wanted to quote a couple of lines from Mary. She said, "I've lived a very long time, Ray." This is to her mortal husband. "And the thing I learned is fate doesn't decide everything. People get to choose." And that's why I think the Owl Spirit is in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. So she has some sort of foresight and she has chosen other than her destined path. And that's when Hancock comes in and says, so you chose to let me think that I was here alone. And she says, I didn't think you'd miss what you didn't remember. Advice for the Owl Spirit in reverse. If that's the side you're resonating with, advice for the Owl Spirit in reverse. Oh, bloody hell, too many. One more for the Owl Spirit in reverse. Advice for Gemini reading. I don't want 3. That's the Seer. See beyond your current situation. That's basically High Priestess again. Choose your path. I don't really think that's added anything to it. Advice for the Bat Spirit with the snake. Advice for the Bat Spirit. Be open to healing information and exchange energy. Oh. Hold the space. Okay, it's a very long reading, but I'll read you one of each. We'll go for the Seer. We don't see her very often. This is for the Owl Spirit in reverse. Look beyond your current situation, raise your vibration and focus on love. Most Indigenous peoples have a Seer in their family or tribe. Seers are the intelligent and intuitive beings who serve as direct channels for information on what's occurring now and what's about to unfold. Their energy isn't about predicting your future for now, but about showing you how your intentions are creating it. A true Seer will help you see that your intentions can change, therefore so can your future. Yay! The message of this card is to I say yeah because it actually matches what Mary says. The message of this card is to let the clairvoyant within you rise up so that you can see the way forward yourself with your spiritual eyes. Clairvoyance isn't just about predicting the future, it's about being able to see clearly enough to create your best future. I love it. You are being encouraged by your ancestral guides and angels to see beyond what you think is happening now. Don't let your ego or doubts play games with you. Instead of seeing yourself as stuck or lost, know you're in an energetic holding space while the universe recalibrates the path that is more favourable for you. You are moving towards something extremely uplifting and enlightening, so stay calm, keep your eyes on the prize. And with him saying, or with this one saying hold the space, I'm going to read the Druid, which is the closest next to the Sage. Druid. This is this energy. Hold things together. Don't make any sudden moves or changes. You're moving too fast. Stand strong, knowing you are where you're supposed to be. The Druids were the ancient ones of the British Isles. They had a deep connection with the earth, the sun and the moon. They were the scholars who created the Ogham tree language, and they are known for their creative skills in storytelling, poetry and craftsmanship. When the Druid card appears in a reading, you're being guided to dig within and hold your station. If you're wondering what to do next or have a sense of anxiety about what is unfolding in your life, it's time to shift your perception and move back to a state of trust. Don't change your plans or do anything drastic. Just trust in the process and let everything happen as it needs to before taking any more steps. Think of a tree. It has strong roots, yet continues to grow and bear fruit. Your life will be a reflection of this. Gemini, I think that's one of the best readings you've ever had. Seriously, there's no like, you know, yeah, it's just so un-Gemini-like. Anywho, that's your lunar eclipse reading. Do bear in mind it can drift up to 6 months. Please like, subscribe, get in touch with a personal, and do look after yourselves. Bye.